Good day folks, the Pro Audio Journalist here. The Behringer 73500 series module is set to become the highest selling 500 module in history. I have a few facts to back up this statement, then we'll get into some of the pros and cons of this clone based on what we know so far. Now the Neve 1073LB 500 series module is the best-selling 500 module currently. Based on the fact that the KT76 has outsold the Universal Audio 1176, it's wise to assume the Behringer 73 is going to outsell the Neve 1073LB, becoming the best-selling module. Now, I might be getting a bit ahead of myself here as I believe the module is currently unreleased. Well, it is in my country. I'm sure at this point we can all assume that Behringer have cloned this unit to a reasonable quality, based on the fact that the 1273 twin-channel 1073 from Behringer sounds pretty good, despite getting the dual concentric knobs backwards. If Behringer are listening, these details matter, and I hope you rectify them soon. Some people are concerned about the transformers being correct. Personally, I have faith in Behringer's engineers in regards to cloning the originals to indistinguishable quality. Transformers do have some intricacies, but overall, they are a rather simple component. In reality, transformers are only contributing 10% to the sound. I'm more concerned with the transistors used and what was used for the discrete op-amps. Secretly, I was hoping that Behringer would use through-hole components for their op-amps, but I doubt it. It doesn't look like it. I guess I really don't have anything against surface mount op-amps these days. I believe they sound great. I have a bit of experience playing around with different op-amps in audio power amplifiers, and it really comes down to the Behringer engineer's personal choice in the R&D process. I'm sure they're fine. Considering Behringer are making their own components and other high-quality manufacturers are buying them, I'm sure they're decent. I also believe we need to let go of this belief that through-hole is superior to surface mount components. I don't believe there is any difference. It all comes down to the circuit designer's vision. If there are slight differences, it's purely that, just differences. One is not superior to the other, just different. At this point, it's very important to mention that the Neve 1073LB 500 module is mainly surface mount components to get the circuit into a compact format. So even the Neve is on an even playing field with the Behringer. I'd like to repeat that the Neve 1073LB 500 module is mainly surface mount components. Even API is using surface mount components these days. Tonelux is another company using surface mount. Both of these companies have Paul Wolf in common in their circuit designs, arguably the greatest year in circuit design in the last 30 years. I believe even his own new products from Fix Audio are surface mount technology too. I've watched his mesmerizing videos of his pick-and-place automated circuit building machine. Try saying that 10 times. So arguing that the Behringer 73 is going to suffer because of surface mount technology is just a cop-out. It comes down to the vision and talent of the circuit designer. From what we can see of the Behringer's circuit, the transformer positions do imply that they have stuck to the original circuit layout closely. Why re-engineer something that's already perfectly engineered? Because honestly, the 1073LB circuit is a work of art in my opinion. And it looks like they have stuck to having two main PCBs too. That's a good sign. Honestly, we have to think like the Behringer engineer who was tasked with this project. The first thing you are going to do is replicate the schematic perfectly with the readily available components they have on hand, and just tweak from there. So I imagine even their starting point sounds great. That's why I have faith in these new units coming from Behringer. The hard work is done, so to speak, just don't mess it up. I really like that they've stuck to the same faceplate layout. This gives you the full experience in my opinion. I don't like the softer grey colour of the knobs and switches. I feel a more stern, bold grey would make it look more appropriate. I also prefer the utilitarian colour of the Neve faceplate. It gives military vibes and subconsciously makes us think that it's a sturdy unit. The Behringer looks a bit toyish. Personally, I prefer the large knob gain stage layout on the original Neve, but I really like that they've included the push pot for the phantom power. This may not matter to some, But the poor kids starting out who can't afford a real Neve, this means a lot to them. If I could give these kids coming up some advice, I'd tell them that this is just as good as a Neve in most ways, and it isn't going to stop you from writing your number one hit. It's actually going to help. What Behringer needs is some high-profile producers and engineers to give their stamp of approval on this gear so that kids realise it's decent and it inspires them to trust their gear and make music. I really think that we need to acknowledge the times. The technology is here and now to produce high-quality sound at very low prices. Saying your Neve 1073 LB is better than a Behringer 73 is just not a valid argument anymore. At most, they could just be slightly different. What counts is whether it's indistinguishable in a mix. To the average listener, it probably is. Given the fact that every 1073 sounds nuancedly different, I'm sure this unit is going to be tonally right up there in the ballpark at minimum. That's of course if Behringer haven't messed this up. If you'd like me to get this unit for review, please let me know in the comments. I'm happy to do sound examples and blind tests and give you my honest opinion. And I've got some units to compare it to. In summary, I think this is a really exciting release from Behringer, and I hope it helps up-and-coming artists. I hope that it excites other engineers too. Times are a-changing. I'm the Pro Audio Journalist. I'll see you in the next one.